Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
In the delicate arena of compliance, every conversation matters. Traditional methods can leave callers feeling unheard, but Ethico changes the game. Our empathetic interview technique reshapes compliance calls into powerful, compassionate interactions, ensuring no crucial detail is missed. It's about creating a conversation that matters, that resonates, that makes a difference. Be the change in your compliance approach. See the transformation for yourself at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo, try our free ROI calculator, and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance.
The Daily Compliance News for April 30, 2024, the Whitewash edition. And we begin with that story from the Financial Times, which reports that corporate probes have been thrust into the spotlight after a recent slew of high-profile cases of alleged misconduct or corporate failings raised questions about the quality and independence of lawyer investigations and how companies use them to rebut criticism. Red Bull said earlier this year that a barrister had cleared its Formula One team's boss of inappropriate behavior towards a female employee, but refused to name the lawyer or publish their conclusions. Several other cases have underlined the fraught nature of internal investigation, which must balance a corporation's imperative to show it has properly probed an allegation with its desire to avoid greater disruption and reputational damage than is necessary. So this was over in the UK, but it's going to be interesting to see what fallout, if any, will be in the United States. Next up, also from the Financial Times, the Brazilian company Vale and BHP and their Brazilian joint venture Samarco have submitted a $25 billion offer to settle with public authorities in the country over a dam collapse that provoked a massive environmental disaster. This payment would cover the Mariana accident, which killed 19 and polluted hundreds of miles of roadway. So $25 billion in cost, pretty expensive for such a mistake. Next up from Reuters, the U.S. Supreme Court has announced it will not hear Elon Musk's bid to throw out part of a financial securities fraud settlement with the SEC, restricting his public statements about Tesla. Not that he's complied with that anyway, but he's been trying to throw out the SEC order, which was an agreed order, around his secured funding tweet back from 2018. So the deal is, if you agree to an SEC order, you got to follow through with it. And finally, from the Washington Post, it reports that many American cities with eggs in one basket's economies are having difficulty because they are not what is called managerial cities. And managerial cities can have multiple times or multiple companies or industries or verticals located in them, and then many can work remotely, thereby increasing productivity. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, this month's sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Have you ever wondered how to show the ROI of your compliance program? Have you struggled with the budgeting process, getting the funds you want for your compliance program? Well, I've partnered with Ethico to put together a white paper on the ROI of compliance, which shows you not only how to demonstrate ROI, but also how to speak finance when you're sitting across from the CFO with your budget proposals. Check out the website and get the white paper. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.